perimeter. Hey, Antonio Gates can score. He can flat out score.
We took pride in playing basketball. So my senior year, we were considered one of the best top 5 schools in the state. We had some very high expectations.
Central High would face their fierce rivals, Cass Tech, in the city championships.
We were clearly the better team, clearly had better talent. We was bigger, we was stronger. We had beat Cass Tech twice in the regular season. And this time they hung around. We was winning the game, they hung around. A guy named Blaine Denny hit a three-pointer. I felt like I let my team down. To lose the city championship to Cass Tech in Detroit, that left that, it left that bitter taste in your mouth. That the one that you never want to taste.
But Central High would have one more chance for redemption in the Michigan State Finals.
You have to work very hard to win a state championship.
It would mean everything to the school. Central historically has been noted as a school, and it's in a very tough neighborhood.
And going into the state playoffs, we got on the roll.
Oh man, you tell it. The state title was the best time of my life. I enjoyed that so much it wasn't funny because there was a lot of good teams there.
Sold out. It was, oh man.
When they got to the state championship game, it was almost as if Antonio told Coach Arande and the players, don't worry, this thing's in good hands with me. He could control a game.
Grantham all the way, threw it away, another turnover. How about Gates behind the back?
And he was fabulous.
Here comes Gates again.
He was a leader. Every time they needed a basket, he would get them a basket.
Back to Gates. He was fouled.
What was it, third quarter? They was blowing them out. They already started making the shirts. They say state champs. We dominated. It wasn't close.
Gambrell down the floor.
But this is something that they could come back and say, look at what we accomplished.
Antonio Gates, who's going to end his senior season in grand style.
This neighborhood being coined is such a negative place, and you never really hear anything good, about these kids. So to see them accomplish something, to that level, I was more, caught up into that.
That championship trophy, Coach Arande Calipero.
It actually allowed them to kind of take a look at what's next after high school basketball, and where can I go from here.
If we can win a state championship, the rest of our lives, anything is possible.
There was little time to celebrate.
I received a phone call, and I knew it was something bad.
And I didn't know what happened. Someone just said, get over here.
It was around 8:00 p.m. I had to go, get ready for a basketball game. And I seen, a couple of dudes in the street. In Detroit, a lot of theft goes on, a lot of robbery, so you gotta be careful. You have to be careful. One guy ran up on me and grabbed me, but I seen the second guy run up and actually had a gun. My little brother used to always wear stuff that I had. And the stuff that I had was, rarely popular. So I just panicked and I just took off running. So I got shot in the back. I didn't know I was shot until he actually came and grabbed the jacket.
Tried to take his jacket, his cell phone, his gym shoes.
About $5, $6, That was a lot to me then. So $5, $6 I had on me. Yeah, they took all that,
It was even worse for my son Antonio, because he was under a lot of pressure. First he's trying to make something of himself, and now he's trying to see that his brother's all right.
He was the closest thing to me. At that point, I was more so happy than I was mad, because it could have been a lot worse than what it was. I'm lucky to even be walking. I'm supposed to be paralyzed, they say. Well, it was close. Yeah, I'm very lucky to be here. I pray every night.
God let us come through that, and I'm glad of that.
In my mind, I was thinking, my brother could have got shot, could have died. This could be the only effect on my life at that point. I hadn't been through everything else.
44, Antonio Gates.
When he won Mr. PSL, that was for the Detroit public schools. Now, he was the best in Detroit, was hands down.
We were talking about his options. Football, basketball, football, basketball. And he thought he was going to go basketball.
Tell me I'm an NBA player one time.
It was pretty apparent to me that he was a pro football player.
Up next,
Making money, doing some things I shouldn't have been doing.
Antonio comes to a crossroad.
It was about one more chance in your life, period.
Toss to Gates. Hey, notice he threw it to the tight end who was covered.
I always wanted to prove I was a basketball player. Why? Because they always would say you're a tight end. They always would tell me you can play football. They always would tell me you're an NFL player.
He's an all-state football player as a linebacker and a tight end coming here to state. Again.
So after meeting with Nick Saban and Bobby Williams and his parents, and he decided that, football would be the best avenue.
The whole plan was for him to play football at Michigan State and play basketball.
Signed a football scholarship. Wanted to play basketball, and fortunately, basketball became a distraction to football.
Things didn't work out. Him and Coach Nick Saban didn't see eye to eye on some issues.
No, basketball can't work right now, not this year. You got to focus on your academics and football. I want to focus on academics and basketball and worry about football later. But, catch-22 is that you want a football scholarship. So you're going to either do this or you ain't going to be here. Can I get my release papers then?
And then ended up leaving and going to Eastern Michigan on a basketball scholarship.
Ended up playing the first game, had a double-double. Started averaging about 12 and 7, 12 and 6, close to a double-double.
Well, the coach at Eastern Michigan ended up getting fired.
So I got in the whole big discrepancy with the new coach, doing some things I shouldn't have been doing.
Ideological differences would put Antonio on the bench for the remainder of the season.
I can't do that. I'm sorry.
He ended up transferring again.
If something go wrong now, it ain't no turning back. I done been through a lot. This is my 4th or 5th school. I can't keep saying what if and if it got to work now.
And there was a couple of schools like Oklahoma and other schools he was thinking about going to for basketball.
I ended up committing to Fresno State with Tarkanian, saying, okay, I'm gonna go to Fresno State. Verbal commitment,
But when his former Central High coach, Arande Telefero, got an assistant coaching job at Kent State, Gates' decision was simple. It all came down to trust.
I know he got my back. He's in it for my best interest. It wasn't about sports. It wasn't about professional sports. It was about one more chance in your life, period. Because I knew if I would have messed up then, I was a senior. I was going to be a senior the following year. It wasn't no more hope for me.
I'm surprised Gates hasn't had more touches as he does right here. Shooting with 5 seconds to fire and hits it.
End up going to Kent State.
And he takes our team to the Elite Eight, one of the most incredible feats at a mid-major school for basketball up until that time.
Averaging at least 20, 25 points a game. They show up at the basketball games. About 5, 6 NFL scouts.
As Antonio began to appear more on national television in a basketball uniform, NFL scouts began to reminisce about Antonio in a football uniform.
And everybody remembered that from high school. Like, you know what, he used to play tight end. You know what, he probably could go to the NFL.
They said that he wouldn't get drafted, but he would possibly be signed as a free agent with an opportunity to make it.
If you're not drafted, it almost means that you don't have the talent. I mean, let's be real. If you didn't get drafted, then obviously you didn't do something in college.
For the record, Gates never played a single game of college football. But that didn't stop the Chargers.
I called Antonio and I said, I hear you're in San Diego. He said, yeah, coach, I'm out here. I'm gonna try this football thing. I said, this football thing? He says, yeah. I said, what position are you gonna play? He said, coach, it's football. No, I don't care.
In the end, Antonio lost his first love. But he now has a great relationship with a game that haunted him his whole life.
He jumped on the scene. Who is this guy, Antonio Gates?
In only his second season with the San Diego Chargers, the undrafted Antonio Gates broke the NFL's single-season record for touchdown catches by a tight end with 13.
I would always, go in the room and, just look at film, break film down of Antonio Gates.
You can't put a safety on him. Safety's not big enough. Linebacker's not going to be fast enough. So he presents a lot of problems when it comes to defensive coordinators trying to cover this guy.
I'm the All-Pro, two-time All-Pro, two-time, Pro Bowler. What are y'all talking about now?
He's that player you sort of envy.
Ferocious.
Explosive.
Fearless.
Unstoppable.
Humble. Dominating.
Greatest player ever. I heard you was a pretty good basketball player. Well, it don't count now, man, because I done made my decision. So, hey, that's how it is, man. That's just how it is.